I can't help but that's super helpful. So the best time to buy a business is when someone's best time to sell a business is when someone's buying. Got it. As you talk, I can't get over. I'm still stuck on this. Like you strike me as the kind of guy who is an entrepreneur's entrepreneur, right? Like you're doing things in high school. You got a delivery route. You wreck your car. You fix it up. You like borrow all this money from the STA to buy Subway sub franchises. Like, yeah. I mean, you're like an entrepreneur, right? Like all through and through. And now you're like talking to Wall Street about, like to me, this is like a non sequitur. This is like a personality complete head change to go from an entrepreneur who's borrowing on credit cards to buy a Subway sub franchise to talking about syndicated debt with Wall Street analysts. Like, how have you lasted? Has it been this like a lobotomy? Like, how have you possibly lasted in these two different phases of this company? It's blowing my mind. I just don't understand it.
It is. I viewed it this way. So in some ways, yes, but in other ways, no. So I don't run things differently than I did if it were just, I have to get more intelligent, right? I have different experiences. Problems are bigger. I'll speak to that in a minute. But my attitude toward, hey, this is mine. In my head, it's not doing the math of what percentage I own compared to 100. I run it like I own 100. I'm trying to build the best, most awesome company. And, there's something to be said about being founder led. It's one of the things that we talk about externally, internally that makes us unique is we're the only one in our industry of this size that is founder led. I don't own 100% of it. Don't pretend that I do, but the founder ledness means like I've done every position in the shop. Like I'm not coming to work with some crazy idea to make your job harder, to ask you to do something that's impossible. It's my baby, and I'm proud or ashamed of whatever is good or bad about it.
But it's hard to hear your baby's ugly. Like when the private equity guys on your board say, Matt, like, what are you doing here? Like, why did you miss your numbers? Why is this the way it is? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Isn't that hard for you to take?
Well, number one, don't you know it anyway? Like,
come on, it's gotta be hard. With some Wall Street guy with a fancy suit that went to the right school says to Matt, "What are you doing? Why did you do this?" That's got to be hard to hear.
Sure. Nobody likes criticism, right?
Sure.
But I truly don't view them as my boss. I view them as my partner. So, to me, I'm super transparent. I'm not trying to survive the board meeting and tell them one thing so that I don't have to deal with them. Like I'm letting them know what we're working on, what we see as risk, what we see as opportunities. I treat them like a partner that can help me if there's something that they know about the problems that we're facing. And that's not it for me. What's been the challenge for me is it's just growing myself to manage the problems. Like everything gets bigger. And I mean, I can take it to simple examples that to make it really jump out. I, in 20 years of owning my business, had one employee die. Now, because of sheer numbers, we have 10,000 employees. Unfortunately, we have an employee not on the job, but because of natural or other causes, pass away once a month or so. Like I dealt with that once in 20 years. Now it's a monthly thing. Now, that's just one little example to show like how much things get bigger and change. But you also have a team of that's there managing stuff with you. So I viewed it as this: I can't be the bottleneck for the company, or else my investment's worth way more than the job. I'm going to fire myself first. So the company would be a $5 billion company as soon as I'm ready to run a $5 billion company. And so the race for me is to get myself in that space to where whatever I might be lacking, I can develop between now and then. And it's just been as simple mindset as that for me. simple. I say things like a level 2 person can't solve a level 8 problem. It's way too hard for them. So my challenge to myself has always been to grow myself bigger than my problems, because the problems are where the opportunities lie. The problems are what you need to solve to continue to do well. So whatever problem I'm facing, that's where I do my research. That's what I go, who's faced this before? Who's wrote a book about it? Who can I call? Um, it's really, to me, like, what are the challenges ahead and who's faced them? Where can I do some research on it? And then I feel that has equipped me pretty well to so far. I imagine there's the day where the problem too big comes along, but for now,
My money's on Matt Ebert. Listen,